Did a cabinet member deliberately mislead the council, or was it something else? Another cabinet member is criticised by the National Party for taking a perfectly logical and legal position. Committee places are left unfilled, councillors not attending meetings, a resignation after just 16 weeks, and still no plans or policy announced. Welcome to Reform in Worcestershire. On top of the scripted replies, filibustering at meetings and not knowing what's actually going on that we've already covered, it seems that reform in Worcestershire have actually gotten worse. Back in August we completed a video about how reform in Worcestershire were in a bit of a disarray following the resignation of Deputy Leader David Taylor. So what else has been going on? We are going to start with the most recent news as of this recording, in that Reform UK Councillor for Bromsgrove South, Gaynor Jean-Louis, has resigned from Worcestershire County Council. The reason given is due to ill health, and whilst we would never wish any illness on any other person, and we hope that whatever ails her can be treated, she did leave Council Leader Joe Monk in a bit of a tough spot. You may remember that in the very first meeting of the new council in May 2025, Councillor Monk, upon her elevation to leader, made some widely reported remarks about how if people were ill, they should resign.
If you have health issues that serious, then perhaps you should resign and let someone else who is more committed do that.
So credit where it's due, they have held themselves to that standard. Councillor Jean-Louis has not attended any meetings of the council according to the official record. She was not present at the election count, and a number of complaints on local Facebook groups shows that she wasn't exactly responsive to residents. Now obviously if she's ill, then it would have restricted her ability to act. But questions still need to be asked. So there will be a by-election in the coming weeks, and Lib Dems have already selected their candidate. It's Bromsgrove District Councillor Sam Amar, and she's already out of the starting blocks, knocking doors and talking to residents. Sam's been working hard for local people on Bromsgrove issues related to BREP and the local plan, and only missed out by 89 votes back in May 2025. We will hopefully be featuring Sam on the channel in the next couple of weeks during her campaign, so keep your eyes peeled. Or hit subscribe below so you can catch all the latest videos and updates. It doesn't cost you anything, it just means that you get told when we put out a video. In a similar vein to the no-shows from Councillor Jean-Louis, there have been two other reform councillors who have less than 50% attendance before the last full council meeting on the 11th of September, and one of them didn't attend that meeting, which means their attendance will now be at 38%. An Evesham councillor who is very visible at local events and reforms national policy launches, but doesn't seem to be able to make the time to go and represent his residents at the one place he should be, County Hall. Which leads us on to problem number 3, unfilled committee places. Each party in the council is allowed to appoint representatives to various committees. They do this on the basis of how large their group is, i.e. how many councillors they have elected. The more councillors you have, the more positions you're allowed to fill on those committees. Only Reform haven't been able to fill their positions. There are currently vacancies on several committees and overview and scrutiny panels where the real work of the council is done. Now, considering the hullabaloo that this caused at the first meeting of the council, where opposition members were painted as having their snouts in the trough for filling their committee positions that they were entitled to based on the political balance, you would have thought that Reform would have made sure to have a solution for this issue. At the September council meeting, Green councillor Matt Jenkins asked a question about how if the Reform leadership were struggling to fill the vacancies, that could they be let out to other parties. Not only did Joe Monk give a strong no as an answer, she suggested that cabinet members will be taking up the empty roles. This despite the same Joe Monk saying in May,
And if you sit on more than one panel, you have to ask why. Are they going to conflict? If they do, then you shouldn't be sat on all of those panels.
Surely, with 27 elected members, you should be able to fill those committee positions. Apparently not. So some people will be pulling double or potentially treble duty. So I guess the motive is that they don't want them or they don't trust them. This leads us to the question, why are the other councillors even there then? There are some councillors who have not even spoken in any council or committee meeting in 5 months. Yet, like Councillor Jean-Louis, they are claiming their allowances for not doing anything. Now, they appear that they could have been paper candidates, which is perfectly legal, but perhaps now they realise that they have to actually deliver. And perhaps for some of them, that is just a step too far for them and the leadership. Before we get a bit further into the leadership struggles, drop us a comment below with your thoughts on what you're seeing from reform in Worcestershire. And if you're enjoying this video, give us a like by giving the thumbs up button a bash. So the reform leadership has taken a bit of a battering over the last couple of months. Firstly, as we covered here, the Deputy Leader David Taylor quit that role but retained the One Worcestershire Cabinet responsibility, a position that had no official position on devolution, and even when he was given a chance to spell Reform's position out, he seemed to be ruling out backing either option at this time. But that's a subject we'll come back to in another video. Adding more woe to the group was Councillor Karl Perks' position on flags on lampposts and roundabouts, specifically the painting of red crosses on roundabouts. Councillor Perks wrote that he considered it to be vandalism and that he would consider criminal charges. Now, before you think I'm going to pick a fight on this, I'm not. As I said at the time on social media, I agree with Karl's position, and that at the time when the council has limited funds to do anything, having to repaint road markings meant money coming from other projects, and that it was also wrong. Many Reform supporters did not agree with that position, and neither did the former chairman of Reform and the new head of policy, Zia Youssef, openly criticising him on GB News. That undoubtedly caused a bit of pressure and a bit of a headache, I bet. But again, I will say I agree with Karl on this position. But Councillor Perks isn't the only cabinet member getting into slightly warm water. And no, I'm not talking about the climate change debate or pictures of smelly fish. I'm talking about accusations of a cabinet member deliberately misleading council and openly being accused of lying. Councillor Foster, who has appeared in a couple of videos here, and even commented on one, clashed with council members over the decision to cancel a new secondary school in Worcester and send any surplus students to schools in Malvern. The debate turned fiery between Foster and Conservative leader Adam Kent, with the Tories accusing the Reform member of giving out incorrect figures and that he didn't understand his brief. Kent would go on to openly accuse Foster of lying to members, forcing an intervention first from Reform councillor Alan Amos and then the council's legal officer. Foster has looked out of his depth on several occasions since May, including giving a rambling opening speech that lasted nearly 20 minutes at a committee meeting. And the debate on education took nearly an hour, meaning that Foster essentially curtailed debate time on other motions, including the Lib Dem motion on climate change, and ran out the clock so much that the reform-free lunch motion wasn't even heard. The filibustering was supposed to be at the last council meeting, Councillor Foster, not this one. And all the while, we still have no policy or plans announced by Reform. It's been 5 months and not a peep. The budget is 3 months away. The unitary authority decision is 2 months away, and there are still no announcements. Doge isn't coming anymore because they can't get the legal agreements in place. They've now suffered their first resignation. They have councillors not doing anything, and amongst those that are doing something, there are several who aren't showing a strong suitability for their roles, and that's not just at cabinet level. I genuinely wish that I had a policy or position from them that I could sink my teeth into and dissect and discuss with you. Instead, here I am making another video highlighting that nothing has happened and there appears to be no change coming. There's a real sense that there are some Reform councillors who do want to get on with delivering for their residents and for the county, but they are being hindered, not by the blob, a rainbow coalition or obstinate public servants, but by their own leadership and their own party. Reform promised their supporters a new way, real change. Yet all we see so far is a paralysed party with nothing to show for the first 120 days apart from chaos, ineptitude and division. It is time for change, and that starts with us. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you want to see more about what Liberal Democrats are doing locally, or what our thoughts are on a range of local matters in Worcestershire, you can click this video here. Thanks for watching.